Hey there, you guys. This is Christian coming back with another video. I just want to talk about a couple things. Well, one thing really, and that's that PlayStation Showcase that we just had. There was a lot of debate, controversy on whether or not that was a good showcase, a bad showcase. So I kind of want to take some time, break down a little bit of the things that I like, some of the things I didn't like, reasons why I felt like it wasn't the best showcase, and it definitely let us down. So there's definitely tons to talk about with this showcase. Do me a favor, like the video if you guys enjoy it. Please consider subscribing, as it does help me out tons. And with that, let's get into this video. Alright, real quick, let's just get a couple things out of the way. I'm not a PlayStation like diehard for certain. I do love PlayStation. It's probably my platform of choice. So I was going into this showcase extremely hyped. Expectations were through the roof. Yes, part of that was things like rumors and other people kind of saying things that like we hope to see. A lot of that also happens to be the fact that we haven't had a showcase in 2 years. A lot of that happens to be the fact that a lot of the first party studios have been showcased or have been like mentioning things on like Instagram and Twitter about things that they're currently working on, and we got none of it. And I feel like that bothers me. It bothers me a lot. But did that make or break this showcase? They opened up the showcase with what Haven Studios has been working on. This is Fair Games. This is kind of like a multiplayer online shooter game. It looks kind of like a Payday, but it's really hard to tell exactly what the hell it was. And that kind of set the tone for, I think, the rest of the showcase, where we got a lot of cinematic trailers but not really a whole lot of gameplay trailers, and I feel like that bothered a whole lot of people. And I get why. Like, I think people are kind of tired of cinematic trailers and they want all just gameplay trailers. Just show me the game and that's it. I don't care about the cinematics or anything. That's very deceiving a lot of times, and I get it. But going into this showcase, I was actually expecting not really a lot of gameplay trailers and really just expecting a lot of cinematic trailers. So that was kind of par for the course for me. I was definitely expecting that. And that's kind of what a lot of these things were. I was hoping that this showcase was going to give us like a template of what we can expect like from 2023 to 2025 type stuff. Things that they can say, okay, this is what we're working on. And then throughout these years, we'd get kind of state of plays that'll tell us like, hey, this is the state of this, and this is what this is looking like, and remember this game. That's what I was expecting. And what we ended up getting was a bunch of games that I didn't really care about, or games I already knew about. So I think that's kind of where the disconnect happens, is the fact that I don't get why they made this a showcase. Like, why specifically did you get these group of games and say this is what a showcase looks like? They didn't really need to do that, I don't think. I think they could have just done a bunch of state of plays. Like, they could have put Firewalk's game, Haven's game, Bungie's game, and a bunch of other random games into a state of play, and then announce a Spider-Man 2 state of play and call it a day. Why did you have to kind of group these things up together and call it a PlayStation showcase when it didn't really feel like PlayStation, when PlayStation really only delivered Spider-Man 2 gameplay and then a bunch of cinematic trailers, and then they kind of relied heavily on third party. So now let's talk about the actual group of games that were announced. If I was to look at this showcase and just grade it based off of the games and remove the whole PlayStation showcase part of it, I don't think it was a bad showcase. I think as a showcase, it wasn't bad as just a group of games. If it was just like Summer Game Fest, random collaboration of games, I'm fine with it. Because we got awesome games like Metal Gear Solid Remake. You know, I thought Alan Wake 2 looked really cool. A lot of some of the indie games that they showed off were actually games that appealed to me a lot. I really liked Helldivers 2. Even like the thing that Bungie was working on looked interesting enough as a teaser, and I think even what Haven showed off looked interesting enough as a teaser. A lot of the stuff here I was interested in, but there was never that wow moment. There was never that holy crap, I wasn't expecting that moment. And I guess like that's on me. The onus is on me for expecting that. But I mean, it's been 2 years since we had our last showcase, and pretty much all the games that we were expecting have either come and gone, or we're still waiting on updates, like things like Wolverine, things like Naughty Dog's Last of Us faction game. It's just kind of, it leaves you wondering like, why are we so dry this year? And if we're dry, that's fine. I would have just rather them say, hey, we have a state of play for summer, instead of we have a showcase of a bunch of third-party games coming to PlayStation 5. And then going into this, I feel like PlayStation kind of hyped this up as like the PS5 kind of game showcase, where they're gonna finally start announcing and showing us like peeks at what a PS5 game looks like. But then we got a whole bunch of like third-party games that are coming to PlayStation 4 as well, like Assassin's Creed Mirage. And then we got a bunch of indie games that, again, I like those indie games. They look good, but it's not what I buy a PS5 for. I bought the PS5 to see, you know, the next big Sucker Punch game, the next big Naughty Dog game, and the next big Insomniac game. So on that same topic, let's talk about the big Insomniac game, Spider-Man 2. This is essentially the only real first-party AAA game coming out for the PlayStation 5. It is, well, at least I was anticipating the next like level of gaming on the PS5, I guess. And I guess it was kind of just a hard realization that, yeah, we're not really getting those big jumps in graphics anymore. It's not going to happen. And that's fine, because I did see a lot of like lighting effects that looked really cool. They're definitely running. The game looks like it's running very smooth. The game looks amazing. It is exactly what I expected it to look like, which is kind of depressing. Again, I feel like going into this, I was waiting to be surprised by something, and nothing surprised me. So when Spider-Man 2 was the last game, I already knew it was going to be the last game because we need to hear about Spider-Man 2. And then you see the game, and it looks like the sequel to Spider-Man, which is fine. There's nothing against Spider-Man 2. It looks like an amazing game. It looks like a great game. I'm definitely going to pick it up day one, and I'm going to have a blast playing it. It was just, it didn't satisfy that appetite I needed for Sony to come out and wow me or surprise me. Just because nothing in the showcase did, and this Spider-Man 2 game looked exactly like what I expected it to. It's nothing against Insomniac or Spider-Man 2, because those games look great. Insomniac is a great developer. It's just the setting that the showcase set, that PlayStation set, that us as like PlayStation fans set for ourselves. So let's circle back to the topic of the conversation. Was the PlayStation 5 showcase a bad showcase? No, because we got things like Metal Gear Solid. We got things like Alan Wake 2. We got some awesome looking indie games. We got to see what some of the new companies that Sony acquired are working on. So they did deliver on some things. The problem is just the fact that we're going into this as a PlayStation showcase. That's what let us down, and that's the problem. The showcase itself as a group of trailers was fine. It's just not what we come to expect or want or need or hoped a PlayStation showcase would be. But hey, that's just how it is. That's all my thoughts on this topic. Let me know down below. Did you guys like this showcase? Was it top tier for you guys, or did it massively disappoint you like a lot of us did? With that, I'll see you guys in the next video.